Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. I have my crystal ball off to the side, so I will be scrying throughout this message. If you're new to my channel, my readings are a little different, and if you're returning, welcome back. You know how we do if it doesn't resonate with you. If you're forcing the story to fit, arguing with it in any way, just leave it behind for the people who it's meant for. So let's go ahead and let's begin. I do have I Scribe Steph's Master of Mirrors out. I'll have this link down in the description box below. Definitely check it out, and if you're interested in purchasing a copy of your own, I will have a link to the book. Okay. Taking a step aside, and allowing spirit to pass through me. Opening up to receive information. I just got like this lightness. It's like this new energy just like came up. Interesting. And I like it. It's a nice new energy. Let's see what's happening here. Yep. Okay. I thought so. We are taking the same scroll from yesterday. I'm being told I'm not taking this one. We're taking this one. We're taking it in reverse. So I had turned the book in reverse before I began this. Okay. So right off the bat, I'm getting very heavy goddess vibes, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to point this out. We have the goddess of Willendorf here. We have Hecate showing up with the scythe, the torch, the dagger. I'm seeing this almost like a key in here. So someone here, either you're beginning to have interest in the goddesses in their various forms, or you're having a particular goddess show up for you, or you're reinvesting yourself in work with a particular goddess. So that's going to be who this collective is for. Someone here may even be very concerned about their feminine nature. That can also be included in this. You're an internal goddess, right? And what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing that there is a lot of sacral energy that is being processed at this time. So this might look like trying to heal the inner child, healing the inner feminine. It might look like investing yourself more in creative efforts, really getting in touch with your own sexuality, healing family traumas. So there can be all sorts of things that are involved in that sacral space, but this seems to be what is being highlighted because this now turned into like a magnifying glass. This is where our attention is. And because our intention is there, we have this passion kind of coming up with this torch, and this is sort of lighting the way for a direction that we see for ourselves. For some of you, this is a different direction than the one that you've been heading in. The reason why I'm saying that is because the top of the torch, the flame is pointing a different direction. The rest of the torch is going straight, and the top is pointing to the right. So there's some sort of action that somebody may be engaging in right now. So for example, if you have a career, you have a particular path you're heading in, you might have gotten some sort of inspiration, particularly around the time of Easter or Ostara, here with the lamb turning into a bunny rabbit on me. And what this means is that you may not necessarily be ending what you were doing, but you may be picking something new up. And this seems to be getting a lot of passionate energy from you. There may be a lot of investment in this thing. Now, one of the things that's happening here that I'm seeing, though, is that this torch is also highlighting something. It seems to be highlighting some sort of dagger, right? A symbolic dagger that we have inside of our heart and inside of our solar plexus. This is why I'm saying that. Here I see a person. I see this as the head, I see this as the shoulders, and this is their torso going down into their legs. And what's happening here is this dagger-like symbol. Now this dagger is being bound. We may be trying to protect ourselves from feeling this entirely. And obviously that's very natural, right? That's a natural response we have as people. Be sure to honor the way that you feel, right? If you still have some sort of grief, some sort of betrayal wound, if something has recently happened, allow yourself to fully feel that energy and allow yourself to try to process it. Sometimes processing it takes a long time, but the more you allow yourself to process that energy, the healthier you'll be in the future. This sort of imagery and this sort of energy that I'm getting from this has the potential to cause us serious problems in the future, whether it's blocking us from our blessings or if it's something that manifests inside of our body, especially inside the chest space. So one of the things that's happening here also, though, is that the point of this dagger is pointing to our throat. So there may be some blocks with saying what we really want to say, right? So somebody here may want to pay attention to that energy. What I'm seeing around this, I'm seeing a man peeking out. He's kind of cool. He's kind of bluesy. He's got like sunglasses and he's holding a candle like, hey, here's some light, right? I'm saying that because I see this face here. He's like smooth jazz, and he's got his hands out. I see one on both sides, and he's got these candles. And what this is making me think of is that there's somebody supporting us, whether this is in our life or this is in the other realms. There's somebody who is supporting us to try to guide our path or lead the way, right? Not necessarily that they're telling us where to go, but they're just saying, hey, see that over there? And then seeing how you act about it, right? So this may be, for example, you may be finding that you're having more inspiration towards something. You may be having more inspiration to be more involved, to get into classes, to try things that you've never tried before, to go out into nature, to, all kinds of things, to travel places you've never traveled to, maybe even to work on things that you've never worked on. This individual is helping you to open up your mind, essentially. I see them directly linked to this image here, which for me, it's like this veil that had been covering someone's face so that they couldn't really see things, and now it's being opened up. I'm seeing the letter R on that third eye area, and it's making me think of the rune Ride-ho. So that might be very important for somebody at this time. I do think that somebody here is probably going to start traveling or has a trip that's planned, and you may be on the fence about, hey, maybe I shouldn't do this, maybe I should do this. It would be good for you. I'm just going to say that because that is showing up that way. There is some sort of experience that is very cleansing that could occur for us. It's not that some big grand thing is going to happen or it's going to be some life-changing event, but the change of energy, it feels very much like the change of energy and the time away gives us space to think about something in a new way that may help propel this new direction. As we're stepping into this new direction that was being represented by this torch, it feels like a new energy is coming into us. And this new energy is quite potentially the very thing that transforms this dagger in that heart solar plexus space. I'm seeing the very top almost like a wishbone. And what this is telling me is that you're in a very powerful period at this time that you literally could focus and manifest something that you desire. Just make sure that you're not wanting too much and that you don't have beliefs telling you that you can't, right? Get rid of those beliefs. If everybody understood just how powerful they were as conscious creators, people would not have these limiting beliefs. So, but in our human journey, it's very hard to actually get rid of those. But whoever this message is for, you're ready. You're ready. Now, this is all flipping on me, and I'm seeing this as another goddess image. So some of you may be aware of that goddess image where it's a woman sitting on the ground. And I think this comes from Africa, and she's like holding her vulva open, if I remember correctly. And that's what's coming through for me in here. So there's a birth, there's a new creation. You're in this creative phase. You're in a creative phase. You are absolutely about to create something new. When I get that goddess imagery, it's like the master creator, right? That's what she represents. She represents the feminine force inside of nature that creates everything. And this is what I'm seeing here, that somebody with this goddess energy rising within or becoming aware of it externally, there's something here that we're about to create something profound, but the important thing is dislodging that dagger. So allow yourself to do that. Allow yourself to do that. I'm almost seeing a lot of pain inside of that space. And this is why, if you look at this almost looks like a face that's screaming. And they're both attached to this dagger here. Allow yourself to process that. Yeah, process it how you need to. It might take some time for some of you. There's another thing going on with this guy. I like this guy. He's funny. So he's got this thing on his back and it almost makes me think of a stick of dynamite or like a bomb. He's about to like pull the plug, throw it. Like it's like if I know that you can see this. I know you can see this. I know you can see the room now because I just cast a little bit of light. Don't make me light it up, right? He's got that kind of energy. He's I have to move away from that because I'm not going to be able to stop laughing. Okay, we're going to put some cards on this. this new thing that you are working on, you may not necessarily be talking about it a whole lot to people. People may know about it, but you may not necessarily be discussing it a whole lot. Okay, I guess we're just going to keep going. Is that it? Okay. Very interesting. Okay. So we may not necessarily be talking about it a whole lot, right? We might have a lot of ideas rolling around in our head right now. And the Lady of the Leprechauns is kind of telling me that. We are trying to decide whether or not something's just a pipe dream. Like, can I do this? Is this a temptation? Should I stay the same? Or should I go ahead and do this thing that I'm just like, wow, I could totally fail and muck it up, but let me go do it anyway, right? We have a decision to make. And the thing is that this idea that this is going to be mucked up, the Lady of the Leprechauns is really suggesting with holding that unicorn mask down is that's the illusion, right? The illusion is that we can't do this thing or that this isn't going to work out. And the temptation, the apple, is the old way, right? So someone here is learning how to grow out of that. We see that with the green man. The green man is all about growth and building our life and causing fertility inside of our life. He's mirrored here by the fairy of growth. So allowing ourselves to grow beyond what we've already known. The fairy of growth is kind of interesting because when I look at her, her card number is 33, and 33 is such an important number in history, especially occult history. And it's really diving into the deeper mysteries, right? Our origin, our development, significant events that have advanced us, portal points. And with this energy, I see not just our solid spiritual foundations, the internal three, and then also the external three, our physical foundations. There's something here that's aligning, that's allowing us to create. Again, going back to the idea of that particular type of goddess that's parting her own sacred feminine veil to create something, right? We're in a powerful point of manifestation. Putting down that mask and those limiting beliefs is vital right now. And what we have here is we have the messenger. Someone here may be feeling that they are receiving messages, either from guides, from ancestors, from spirits, higher self, from source, from your angels. However you resonate with that sort of energy, with the messenger energy, there does seem to be some sort of message that has been coming through. It can be from tarot readers, it can be from friends, it can be in the synchronicities taking place within your life. The one thing I can tell you about this group is that there's massive change on the horizon if we step into it, right? There is something here that's a question, and this is about the past. We have something here that's coming up. So you may be wondering all sorts of things about the past right now. It does seem to be fueling this Lady of Sorrows card. I kind of want to get her off the table. I don't know why. I want to put her away. And the question and the remembrance, this may be the point. I think this is the challenge. We may be thinking and poring over the past too much. We may be having too many questions in regards to that. Or for some of you, if it's not too many questions of the past, for example, like why did this happen? Why did they do this? Why did all this, all that, right? Those things that keep us very stuck, right? Someone's challenge is going to be to move away from those questions and to leave this past in the past. Obviously, we don't just want to reject the feelings that we have. We still have to process them, but finding that balance, right? Where we don't let something control our mind. And for others of you, however, this is kind of telling me that this was the past, was that we just questioned ourselves too much. We didn't believe in ourselves, right? We feel like every time we tried something, it didn't necessarily work out. And someone here is coming to the conclusion, for some of you, not everyone, because sometimes things don't work out. But this is somebody looking back in the past and feeling like, wow, I didn't necessarily invest everything, and now I know how to invest everything. I think that came out in yesterday's reading as well. This seems to be the challenge. So there is some sort of challenge that may approach soon. And this challenge, we choose how we show up to it. We can show up in a hem-haw way where we allow the challenge to be the bully in the room that makes us back down, or we can see the challenge as an opportunity to grow beyond that energy. So that's the challenge that's coming up for somebody. We do have the child. There's something new being born again. And this is just a beautiful card, so I just want to hold it up. Even when I didn't like kids, I thought this was a beautiful card. That was a long time ago. I think they're adorable now. All right. And when they're quiet and they're sleeping. You're so cute when you're sleeping. And then the last card that's out is the Lady of Faith. And I want you to pay attention to this little boulder that she's got on her shoulder there. And the reason why I want you to pay attention to that is because of this. Okay. Now look at her shoulders. She's got something there, right? And as I'm looking at that imagery, it's almost as though we don't just have this one being that is kind of helping us, right? And you might be like me, you might resonate with everything is inside of me, so the beings are part of me. You might see them as completely different entities, right? Completely separate from you. And whichever paradigm you operate in, there seems to be more than just that. There seems to be these protective forces flanking us in some way. That's what boulders do. They protect the shoulders from blades, right? They protect them from enemies. This is showing up in this sort of lion form. There's something here that is protecting us that I'm taking it as our lineage. It's part of our lineage. So we may have some sort of ancestors. You know, you often see these lions on ancestral crests, like familial crests. We may have ancestors from our father's side, ancestors from our mother's side. I got that wrong. That are basically with us right now, and you may be aware of that. There's also this energy coming through here of this right here, and I'm not really sure how to interpret that, but it's being highlighted to me, so it's very important. Okay, it comes up here, so it's like part of a bird. So there may be some sort of bird that's very important for somebody right now, whether it's an eagle or it's, you know, a cardinal, or it's a hawk, or it's a raven. There's something about birds that's very important right now that has acted as some sort of messenger. And okay, that's why the messenger card was directly on top of that. There's some sort of message. There's some sort of message that's coming through. We have the ability to ask our ancestors by asking these birds, right? So it's allowing the bird to bring the message as they fly away, and allowing the universe to return those messages to you through birds. So it's, don't focus too much on the physical form. It's something that's happening behind the scenes. As the things are happening in the 3D, there's something else happening in the layers behind. This is what we want to focus on. Allow your imagination to open. Again, that's what this being is trying to do here. They're trying to part the veil of our mind so that we're perceiving things in a very different way and receiving information in ways that maybe we don't normally think that this is how it happens. Okay. Right here, I'm almost seeing like Wolverine claws. So some of you may be experiencing that you're a little bit more protective right now, or a little bit more short-tempered right now, just because this sort of healing that's coming through. However, it's also because this goddess energy is rising up, right? The divine feminine is not always the most patient. There's aspects of her that's very nurturing, very kind, but you don't want to F around with her. That's that dark feminine energy that I see is coming up for someone with that Hecate showing up here. So I'm going to leave this here. I hope this resonates for you. If this does, please hit that like button. Feel free to, I have comments off. Some of you have asked me about that. The reason why I have comments off is because I don't have the time to devote to reading and clearing out my comments and like negative stuff and the spammers and the scammers and stuff. And I turn my comments off whenever I need my psychic energy back to myself so that I can work on other things. Right now I'm trying to work on a separate channel that will be public at the end of June. You can go on over and subscribe if you'd like. It's at ritual_of_1, or it's down in the description box. You can just check that out and head over there. It's going to be devoted to guided meditations. Mostly I will call them audio rituals because they will be a little bit more ritualistic in their timing, their speed, the intonations, and the energy going into them. There will be things like subliminals, overnight affirmations, things like that. So if you guys are interested in that, that's one of the reasons why my comments are off. They'll be back on as soon as I'm done working on that and on the ebook. The ebook will be also be out at the end of June. It'll coincide with the making public of that channel. So until then, silence. I hope you guys are having a good spring into your summer. If you're here in the Northern Hemisphere, if you're down south, I hope you guys are having a good winter. And I will talk to you guys soon.